S.
Of. That's right.
Yeah.
Sad sack of.
of.
That's where it comes from. Because I usually don't complete the sentence.
Well, no, nobody does because you don't want to be.
But after a while, you forget what it's short for. That's right. Okay.
So crying is not part of Trump's campaign.
And I would be very disappointed if he decided to come out and show that kind of emotion. That what John Kasich did helped John Kasich. If Trump tried that, everybody would be like, "What? This is not what I signed up for."
No. Okay, so more people. Let's talk about the people that hate Trump. And you tell me if you align, believe, or like these people so that you would be swayed by them. Hollywood. Michael Moore, Kerry Washington, Rosie O'Donnell, Harry Belafonte, Jane Fonda, Dylan McDermott, Roseanne Barr, Lily Tomlin are among the film and TV stars who have pledged, quote, speak out in every way possible to prevent Trump from becoming the next president of the United States. It's part of the new, quote, stop hate, dump Trump, end quote, campaign.
This is going to backfire big time.
In a statement on its website, the group says it believes Trump is a grave threat to democracy, freedom, and human rights, equality, and the welfare of our country and all of our people.
I read that in an article. What the hell are they talking about?
And when have they ever cared about any of those things?
I would love for them to define for me what they believe democracy, freedom, human rights, equality, and the welfare of our country and our people actually mean. Because I know for a fact that they are 180 degrees polar opposite of what conservatives would define those things.
They would, as soon as spit on the average human being in America, than to do anything else. Literally, these Hollywood disgusting Michael Moore, headed by Michael Moore, despicable and disgusting Michael Moore, lying sack.
Sack of what?
Sack, potatoes. Is spearheading this campaign, saying, stop the hate, dump the Trump. Stop the hate.
It's going to backfire because
hashtag save our children. Save our
anybody who is even, well, first of all, those who already support him, not going to affect them at all.
This actually solidifies why they support him.
That's true. However, if there's any future people who are even remotely, who would have a remote chance of possibly deciding, yeah, I guess Trump's my man, I think this campaign works against what they're trying to accomplish. They're not going to look at these Holly weirdos.
No.
And I'm not talking about Trump supporters. I'm talking about people who currently are not outwardly for him, but would admit, well, I guess there is a possibility that one day I could come around. I'm talking about those people.
Right.
Even they are going to listen to Roseanne Barr and be like, oh, hell, I think I am going to support Trump now. Right. Michael Moore, you're saying that I'm on your good side if I vote.
If you dump the Trump, Kerry,
you
dump the Trump, Kerry, you will be in the limelight, the good eyes of Michael Moore and Roseanne Barr.
And Rosie O'Donnell and Harry Belafonte and Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda!
She should be in prison for treason.
Right.
Aiding and
yep.
If you look at the definition of treason, how on earth did Jane Fonda escape prison?
Liberal. John Kerry, war medals. Genghis Khan.
Well, here's the thing. You can throw your medals over the White House gate or fence or whatever, and I think you can avoid prison there, obviously. Freedom of speech, whatever, as long as you don't hit the Secret Service upside the head with it.
Because, they're not paying attention.
No, not at all.
And if you wanted to jump the fence and run through the screen door, you could have done that last year. They just had like a screen door that was like on a spring.
Maybe it was hot out.
Right.
The latch was broke, so when you hit the screen door, it was flying open.
They say that door's now locked.
I don't believe it.
Well, I'm not going to try it. Did we talk about this before? Back in the day, You could walk to the White House.
We've talked about
walk inside and say, I want to talk to the president.
Have you seen the movie Wild Wild West?
Yes.
Will Smith? He walks right through the front door to go talk to good old Abe.
Is it the filmmaker, Jay and Silent Bob, is that Kevin Smith?
Yeah, Kevin Smith. Mm-hmm.
Kevin Smith said that Wild Wild West was pitched to him in this long diatribe. He was going on about...
He loves talking.
He
loves talking.
He did like
he has a podcast.
Yeah, he did like a 3-hour talk on this thing where he was going to go see Prince, and he did see Prince, and Prince had...
Are we talking about Dave Chappelle?
No, Prince had commissioned him to film, and he's like, I don't do that. And Prince's people said, no, you do.
You do because
you
I
do
say
that.
it.
Yeah,
You
right.
do what I say.
So he finally did. But anyways, it was part of this whole skit. So he talked about the Wild Wild West was pitched to him, and he's like, hold on. The desert, chase, giant mechanical spider stuff. I'm not getting it, dude. I'm not seeing it, man.
And by the way, he came out with a movie called Jay and Bob Strike Back, which was atrocious.
Of course. Anyways, I digress. So, okay, so those people, Michael Moore, all Hollywood, or not all of the sycophants, the leftist, the ones that desire communism to come here,
The communist.
right? In Hollywood, they hate Trump. Okay, who else hates Trump? By Breitbart News, a former McCain advisor blasted Alaska Governor Sarah Palin's endorsement of GOP frontrunner Donald Trump as just classless, telling Politico's Ben Schreckering that McCain's vice presidential running mate is, quote, one of America's most astounding morons, end quote. Quote, it's just classless. And then another quote, he said, it's undermining to a key Trump message, which is one of competency. What Trump has said is he's going to hire the very best and bring in men of Carl Icahn's ilk, and he's appearing with someone who's viewed as America's most astounding moron.
All right.
There was a John McCain, a senior advisor for John McCain. What, bruh? She was John McCain's. What's that say about McCain?
Well, we all knew.
What's that say about McCain?
We've heard about the rumors of the infighting between Sarah Palin but it was until after they lost.
Right.
And then we found out about... They tried to blame Sarah Palin.
Oh, yes.
By the way, Sarah Palin, and I was going to mention this earlier when we were talking about her speech, I think it was a pretty awful speech.
It was very awful.
Yeah. And the reason is, if you compare it to what I consider to be brilliant speeches back when she was campaigning with McCain, this is a woman who would go from city to city to city to city, doing the exact same stump speech,
right,
and refining it and getting a lot of experience and getting better and better and better at it. By the time we finally got to hear it on a national stage, it was perfected.
Right.
It had been tweaked and it had been practiced. This thing was like, hey, I want to endorse you. Really? All right, well, come on.
She had somewhat of an outline.
She just came up and tried to wing it.
And now, don't get me wrong. If you ever read a book about public speaking or how to put a speech together, there's a great book out there from Ronald Reagan's speechwriter. He wrote this book, and it's phenomenal about how to speak or how to give a talk. How to give a talk. And in that, they do reference, in the book, they reference Al Sharpton.
Oh, great.
And Jesse Jackson. The rhyming part.
Oh, and that's how she came up with those rhymes and stuff like that.
And she did rhyme in her speech.
If the glove doesn't fit,
you must have quit. Yes.
That was what got him off of murder.
Because it works.
Wow.
And it's memorable. So anyway, it was tough to listen to. And as soon as Trump came back on it went for 20 minutes.
I thought it was longer than that because
40 minutes?
There's a video on YouTube called Sarah Palin endorses Donald Trump full video. And it's an hour and 33 minutes long.
No. Shit, it wasn't that long. I even think that
the hour and 33 must have been all the speeches.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
that had Donald in it too. No, I think it was 20 like a little over 20 minutes because Megyn Kelly made it a point to say that the rhyming game went on for 20 minutes.
What is this? Lies more? What's with all the lies? Why can't we be accurate?
Megyn Kelly, good times for her.
So sick and tired of the dishonesty in the reporting of the news.
Ted Cruz, the establishment has abandoned Marco Rubio for Trump.
Interesting.
That's what he said this week. He said that this week.
Interesting because there's some truth to that. It seems like the establishment, for whatever reason, has decided, oh crap, I think Trump's going to be the guy, and we better get on board really quick on because we got to have a nominee,
right?
And
you must have a nominee.
This is our only choice. We better start embracing him,
right? Clinton Super PAC responds to the Palin on Twitter with a big giant mocking smiley face pointing finger
I
thing.
saw that. You actually posted that up on Facebook, didn't you?
It was so...
I know what they were thinking. The thought process was, you got endorsed by the one that nobody wants to get endorsed by. Ha, 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 ha. The joke's on you.
Well, you know when we were kids and we were at like a basketball game against another high school and like, you know, we were winning and yet the other team was like yelling things at us and we would chant back, check the score, check the score. Yeah. Look at the scoreboard, Hillary.
Right.
Check the score.
But who was the one that was responsible for that icon? It was some...
Oh, it was the head of her super PAC.
That was their response.
Yeah.
Yeah, check the score.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Hillary, check the score. Right.
Saying, my response to them is, check the score. Right, no, I agree.
Sarah supported, that's what I talked about before. Sarah supported Cruz for a Senate run. Mark Levin comes out this week.
Man, Mark Levin, you know who blasted him? You know Steven Crowder? The new guy.
Yeah.
The new guy. He's an up-and-coming whippersnapper.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he has his little podcast and stuff like that, similar to what we do, but he's solo.
Right.
And his is a little bit more refined as far as
louder
high budget. Yeah.
Right. Louder with Crowder.
Right.
He's done interviews with high big names.
So he just got interviewed by somebody, and he was talking about Mark Levin. And he pointed out that Mark Levin said, and you know how Mark Levin talks.
He doesn't speak.
It's screaming into the mic all the time. He goes, am I allowed to say this now? Am I allowed to say this? And what he was about to say was, I told you so. You know, Trump this, Trump that, blah, blah, blah. But Steven Crowder pointed out, isn't it interesting that he said, am I allowed to say this now? What does that mean? Does that mean he wasn't allowed to say that before? Aren't you supposed to speak your mind and speak the truth?
Right. Yes.
Why wasn't he allowed to say something? And what was it? You know, am I allowed to say this now? That's what Mark Levin said.
So here's Mark Levin.
Oh, do you have the clip?
On Trump. I don't know if he says that.
Let me tell you something. Mr. Producer. Let me tell you something.
This is going off on Trump about Ted Cruz's birth.
Oh, right. Okay. And I have my own opinion about the birth. We talked about it before, and I could reiterate it again.
Well, you sent me that link to that video.
Oh, did you watch that?
Not the whole thing, but I want to talk about that because you watched it.
Critical.
That's why I brought this up, because I want you to talk about that.
It's critical.
Okay, here's Levin first.
This is why I'm sick and tired.
Okay, that's go ahead. That's Levin. That's Levin in his
That
voice.
is why I'm sick and tired. We're interviewing him right now. Right. What I am telling you now
This is why I'm sick and tired of stupid talk. This is why I'm sick and tired of stupid issues. This birth nonsense has gone on long enough.